Hello, and thank you for tuning in Rose Ward, Stampersdelight.com. Thank you for joining me on another Scrapbook Sunday 101, and we are going to get started. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, and come scrapbook with me. So for today's video, what I'm going to show you is a scrapbook page done with the Words of Cheer bundle, and that is on page 20 of the holiday catalog. So you definitely want to check that out. I think that gets lost in the catalog, as do some other items. I also want to remind you that you have 2 more days left to get that starter kit special, which is $75 for $125 worth of merchandise. There's no obligation after you do that if you don't want to stick with it, although I'm not sure why you wouldn't. And I will help you every step of the way. So if you'd like to get in on the new starter kit for $75, just go to Stampersdelight.com and click on Join the Fun. If you're going to place an order and it's less than $150, please use that host code. This way you get the hostess rewards. And if you'd like to shop the apparel shop where you can get your Dear Santa sweatshirt, all I want for Christmas are stamps, just go to Stampersdelightshop.com. There's a lot of other fun gift-giving ideas for the stamper or scrapbooker in your life. For December, I'd like to remind you, you got to join by December 10th. And what I'm going to be doing for the December online class is Inspiring Thoughts Bundle. So you have all these great sentiments and these great dies. So what you will get is the bundle, plus the tutorial and the card kit to do 6 cards, 3 designs, 2 of each. And this is really a great set for any time of the season. The reason I picked this was because of all the great sentiments. I mean, you can do birthday, Christmas, sympathy. So don't forget to read the description below and get in on the December online class. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you know when I'm going to go live. Okay, so here is the Words of Cheer that we're going to be using for the scrapbook today. I'm also going to show you some cards. So if you clicked on this video and you think, well, I'm not a scrapbooker, stay tuned because I also have some cards to show you. And the Words of Cheer bundle has some great dies in it. And I love the fact that mine are all missing here. So I've been playing with them. Look at all these dies you get. You get the cheer in 2 different fonts. You get the happy in 2 different fonts. You get this die, which is to cut out this large portion. So don't overlook this in the catalog. And don't just think about Christmas. I have this silicone mat here and my fingers aren't letting me pick that up. Okay, because what you can do with the happy and the cheers, you see that there's no holly on there or greenery. So you can use these for a happy birthday, cheers to a new job. There's a lot of different options for this stamp set and bundle. So let me start with the cards. And hopefully, again, if you're not a scrapbooker, just stay tuned so that you can see these. So the first card I did was using our Designer Series paper in the holiday catalog. And you can see I used that happy with the greenery. Let me just bring it up closer. Hopefully you can see that. And it says Happy Christmas. There I colored with our blends. And then I just made a 10-fold card. And everything is in the description below. Happy Christmas from my home to yours. So what a great card. What great cards this makes, right? And then, of course, this is the Merriest of Christmas or Merriest of Seasons. Again, it's in the description below. The embossing folder. And I did that happy in our gold specialty paper. I embossed the Christmas. Happy wishes to you and yours. So there you have another card that you can do with this great bundle. Now let's get to the scrapbook page. For this one, I'm going to do a 2-page layout. So I grabbed Garden Green. I'm sorry, this is Old Olive. I changed my mind. I got Old Olive here. And I have 2 12x12 pieces. Now I also grabbed some Designer Series paper from the holiday catalog. And of course that's 12x12. So that's too big. So what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to trim this. And I do a 1/2 inch on each side. So you only have to do it on 2 sides. And that'll make it 11 by 11 or 11.5 by 11.5, depending on how much you take off. Okay, what I'm doing here is I want to have a little bit of a border on my green. I like to use cardstock and then layer the designer series paper on it because it makes it a little bit stiffer. So you can just use the designer series paper, but it's thinner. And I like to have a little bit more on the back of mine. So I'm just trimming off this. Same thing, 1/2 inch on each side. You could do less or more depending on what you wanted to do. Okay. We'll go with that. Okay. And here we have a piece of that. Okay. So I'm going to go right ahead and I'm going to glue that down. I am going to use my Stampin' Seal. You can use whatever adhesive you want. Stampin' Seal, you don't need a lot. See, I'm just putting a little on each corner and down the sides here. All right, so let's do this one first. And you can see how I have that nice border going all the way around. My second page. Thank you to everyone who has told me you like the Scrapbook Sunday. I will continue to do that. I'm having a blast. Not to mention I'm getting some of my scrapbook pages done. Again, sometimes I don't have pictures ready for them, but I know I'm going to find pictures to put in them. That is a question I get asked a lot. How do you know what size to make your matting? Well, I do a general idea of the layout because I always know that I have tons of pictures and I can crop any of them. Now I'm going to bring in my 8.5 by 8.5 by, what is it? I don't even remember here. My regular card base, regular piece of cardstock. It is early. And these are going to go right in the middle. Okay. It's the only problem with doing the videos early in the morning. I'm not quite awake yet. So I'm going to lay those down just like that. That's how I want them. Now this is my matting and I can cut pictures to fit inside this 8 by 10. Again, I said it wrong again, didn't I? Sorry about that. Oh boy, it is early. Okay, so we're looking at 8.5 by 11. That's what I'm trying to say. We're all friends here, right? And as you can see, I don't edit my recordings. What you see is what you get with me. Okay, so there we have our matting. Now I'm going to bring in 2 of those holly or poinsettias right here that I've already done. You see, I've already colored these with our blends. And they're going to go probably in the corners here. I'm not really sure yet. But what I am going to do is bring in another one so I can show you how I colored those. And I am using our Stampin' Blends. Don't need a lot of colors. Okay, I have real red, light and dark. And let me just bring in a piece of scrap paper because they do bleed. Okay, I'm going to take the dark real red, put that right in here. And actually, I'm going to use the bullet or nubby end, as I call it. Just adding some dark. And then around the edges, I'm going to add some more. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to blend that all in. Now, some people like to start with the light and then blend with the dark. I like to start with the dark and blend with the light. You can do it any way you please because it still comes out gorgeous. I color fast. I know some people like to take their time. I'm a fast colorer. Okay, now I'm going to take the light and I'm going to blend that all up. When you're using your blends on the larger size or the brush marker size, you want to use towards the side so you don't ruin your point. We also have a color lifter, so if you make a mistake, you can lift some of that color out. So again, the larger one using the brush end. Now, as it gets smaller, you can turn it around and then go in there with the bullet or nubby end. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer the nubby end? What I'm calling it? The nubby end or the bullet end? Okay, and this one's smaller, so I am going to use that bullet side. And that one's also a little sturdier, so you can press a little bit harder. Okay, so there's poinsettias. I'm going to go in. I'm just going to grab a cherry cobbler. Dark. I don't need to blend this. So I'm going to go in there with the cherry cobbler. Color those. Don't overlook this set for cards, even though we're doing a scrapbook page. And there will be still shots on my blog, Stampersdelight.com, so that you can see the still shots of the cards. Okay, now we have the greenery. And again, this doesn't really call for any blending, so I'm just going to go in. Well, actually, these leaves do, so I'm going to go in with the dark. There's only a couple little leaves that need some dark and light. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with the light. And this I am using the bullet end because it is a small section. And then you can go back in and blend it a little more if you're not liking the way it came out. Okay, now for this side, again, I'm going to just use the dark. I don't really need a lot of color in there. They're very small. Or you can use the light. I decided to go with the dark this time. But I want to show you something, even though you don't need it. If you decide that you did the dark one and you really don't like it, even though they're small sections or small spots, just take your light and lighten it up a little bit. Go right over that. It'll just lighten up the dark areas. Maybe you didn't like how it came out. So you can play with those. All right. Now I'm going to add Wink of Stella. So let me grab that and add some Wink of Stella. Give it a little squeeze. This one's almost out. Just add some random color here. Remember, just adding some shimmer. Okay, so now I have my piece. All right, so let's get back to this. Let's get back to the page. So now I'm going to decide where I want my flowers or poinsettias. Maybe one on each side there. I have cheers, and you can see how beautiful they come out in the foil paper. I have happy. Put that right there if I want. And from the peppermint and gingerbread memories and more cards, I have a journaling card that says holiday happenings, and I thought that was cute to go with that. So I can just put that right here. I can just actually do it this way. And I have one more here, so let's see. I'm liking that layout. So I am going to bring in some glue here. I'm going to use my Tombow. And I'm just going to add a little Tombow. You can use the adhesive sheets that we have. You can also use small dimensionals. The adhesive sheets are great for this kind of project because they will put the adhesive right down on your die cut. I wasn't sure how I was going to use this, if I was going to use dimensionals or not. So I'm going to put that right here because I really want it to show up. Okay, so that's, I'm putting that right there. The happy, let's go ahead and do that one. And it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas outside here in New York. It is actually snowing a little bit. Not a lot, a dusting, but it looks very pretty, as long as I don't have to go out in it. I'm gonna bring that right there. Press that down. Now for these, I'm gonna actually pop them up on dimensionals. Now I know once I put it in my album, you won't see that they're popped up on dimensionals, but I do like to give it a little dimension when I'm doing the projects. And take your pick tool is not on the table, so let's just use our paper snips. And I'm just gonna put 3 of those right here. There. If you're just getting into scrapbooking, it doesn't have to be complicated. You can, that's why I started Scrapbooking 101. Showing you, I mean, there's nothing wrong with making elaborate projects. Trust me, I love them. But if you're just getting started, or you just like the simpler ones, definitely tell your friends about this page. And tell them to subscribe. This is actually my last week of full-time work. And after 20 years, I'm going to be able to do Stampin' Up! Full-time. So I definitely want you to follow my pages. Okay, or my videos. There we go. This, I'm going to put this way. And there I have a quick, easy page, but I got a couple more little guys I want to put on here. So I've made a couple of these. That's also with the little die cuts. And I'm just going to, I don't know where I'm going to put them yet, but I want to put them where they're going to show up. So even though they're small, I put a little Tombow on this. Hide that right there. Oh yeah, that makes it, doesn't it? Okay, let's put a couple more on here. Put that one right in there. I don't want to hide it too much. I do want it to show up. I got a couple more. I might as well use them all up. Okay, and I got one more, so we'll put that one right here. Okay. And there you have it, a 2-page layout ready for some Christmas pictures. And I think I'll probably save this for some pictures that we'll take this Christmas. So I hope you enjoyed this segment of Scrapbook 101 Sundays, or Sunday Scrapbook 101. And remember, this is with the words of cheer. And if you missed the beginning, here's 2 cards with the same set. So don't overlook this in the catalog, and it is still available. And then here we have Happy Christmas. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day, and keep on scrapbooking, scrapbookers. Bye.